Gynomastia, gyno, bitch tits, man boobs, man tits, whatever you want to call it. So many names to this. Now, I made a video about this a couple of months ago. It kind of went viral for me, almost 1 million views on Facebook, TikTok and Instagram. Well, if you count all the views across social media, it crossed 1 million. So for me, that's pretty decent. In 1 minute, it's very hard to explain exactly what gyno is. Now, first of all, let me just say this. You have to surgically remove gyno. I don't care how you got it. Whether you got it through puberty, you got it through steroids, you got it through being an adult, it doesn't really matter. Or you got it through drinking too much milk. However you got it, once it's hard, once it's been there for a while, and it's fully developed breast tissue, the only way to get rid of that is through surgery. Now let me explain a few different types of gyno and exactly what it is. So the common one that I was referring to was for people that take steroids. Now what happens is, if you don't have gyno and you take steroids, often in many individuals, especially if the diet's off, they will raise their testosterone at a really high level because they don't know what they're doing. They haven't got the correct guidance, they're not on TRT, they've gone from 0 to 500, 600, almost a gram of gear in some cases. And what happens from there is, as testosterone rises, so does estrogen. Now, estrogen is the female hormone, testosterone is the male hormone. We are all born with nipples. I don't know why, I don't know the science behind it. I must have read somewhere that we're all kind of formed into females first and then we change into males, whatever it is. I'm not here to give you a biology lesson. We all have nipples, you can't deny it. With us having nipples, we have a tiny little bit of breast tissue, just a tiny little bit as a male, but not noticeable. For most guys like myself, you cannot see it ever. Whether you take steroids, TRT or not, it will never grow. In some cases, not everybody. Now, what happens is some people that are hypersensitive to steroids will take steroids, their estrogen will go through the roof, and they will start developing breast tissue. What happens is the nipples start to get really sensitive. They start to develop small glands like a breast, and it hardens over time. It becomes really sensitive. In some cases, I have actually seen it lactate as well. Not nice. It comes out actually, when you see a male push milk out of his breast, is a very strange look, but it does happen. When you get gyno, can you get rid of it if you are on steroids? You can, yes. At the start, if you catch it early. If it's fully developed, no. But once it's swelled up and it's still there and it's just on its development stage, there's many things. Now, I'm not here to prescribe you anything, but there's tamoxifen, there's arimidex, clomid, anastrozole, there's so many, letrozole, so many different medications out there, and these come into the category as anti-estrogens. That's what they're called. And what they do is they combat estrogen to the point where you would not develop any gyno. So if you were to take steroids and you wanted your estrogen to be at this completely zero, which probably isn't healthy as well, you can take these, especially something like letrozole or tamoxifen or arimidex. If you took something like this, then you'd completely hold off your estrogen, so you will never ever develop gyno. So that's one way of combating it. The best way to do it is get your bloods done. Go to the doctors, get your bloods done, and see where your estrogen levels are. If they are really high, take something like tamoxifen to lower it, get your bloods done again, see if that's leveled off. If they're at a decent range, then you're fine. If you really want to cut estrogen off, then take a really harsh anti-estrogen that will completely shut your estrogen down. That is how you will stop the development of gyno. Can you get gyno? So that is the steroid-related gyno. Very curable. If you get gyno and you leave it too long and it's fully developed into a breast tissue, by taking these tablets, will you get rid of it? No, you will not. It is not possible. Once it's fully formed, it is almost impossible. In fact, I know it's impossible to get rid. The only way for you at that stage is surgery. You might be able to reduce the lump because it's not swelled no more. So sometimes when you look at the lump, it's really swelled up. And then when you take the anti-estrogen, the swelling will go and then you'll get just the gland. But it is still there, it's still present, and it can still come back at any time. Now, the other thing is, as an adult, if you drink too much milk, you can also raise your prolactin and estrogen, or if you eat too much dairy products as an adult and you're not training, your testosterone dips and your estrogen gets high, you can also develop gyno. but you will not notice that. It'll develop over a couple of years, maybe 6 months, maybe up to a year. And then when it's there to stay. Again, for you at that stage will be surgery. Now, teenagers. How do teenagers develop gyno? When they go through puberty, they get a massive burst of testosterone. And like I said, if you inject testosterone, it's a very similar effect. The higher the testosterone, the higher the estrogen is going to be. So yes, it can happen to a lot of guys. They do develop gyno at a very young age. Sometimes I've seen 8-year-old kids walking around on the beach with a top off. They're a little bit fat, and I look at them and I think, shit, I wish I could go over and speak to them or speak to their parents and say, listen, whatever you're doing, this guy, he needs to get on a diet straight away. I know it sounds bad saying he's a 10-year-old kid, 12-year-old kid, he needs to diet. But trust me, later on in life, when you're not 10 no more, you're not going to be 10 for a long time. I'd rather give them a little bit of a reality check then than when they're 20-year-old in Ibiza on the beach. At least they can take the top off. Whether they train or not, gyno is not attractive in anyone. It is, yes, you know, if you look at it, is it normal to have bitch tits for a guy? No, it doesn't look good. It's not attractive. If I had it, the first thing I would do is fly somewhere to get it removed. There you have it in long form. Is it possible to get gyno without taking steroids? Yes. So dismiss that video. It's 1 minute reel. I do say in that video that anyone can get gyno, and so many people have commented on that video saying, is this possible? Is that possible? I'm not on steroids, I've still got gyno. Yes, you can still get gyno. It's a hormone imbalance. Your testosterone raises, so does your estrogen, you can develop gyno. But I will say this, and I spoke to many medical professionals as well. I'm sure if there's any medical professionals out there, they can back me up on this. Once your gyno is fully developed, like fully developed, no tablet on earth is gonna dissolve your gyno. The only way to get rid of it is through surgery. If you like videos like this, please subscribe. If you want to learn how to take TRT the correct way, head over to faddyhussein.com. Link is in the description, and get the TRT protocol.